Thank you for your interest in doing business with the City of Palm Bay. Today, I will review the city's process for request for proposals. The most important step any vendor must take in order to do business with the city is to register for VendorLink. VendorLink is the software partner we use to broadcast our opportunities to do business with the city. It is absolutely free to register. VendorLink is a user-friendly portal on our website. Simply provide your contact information, identify what goods and services you offer, and get notified whenever we have a matching request. We use this system to broadcast notices of any solicitation we do valued at $25,000 or more. All the documents can be viewed and downloaded instantly with no fee. To register, go to myvendorlink.com. Check out our video with step-by-step instructions for more information. If you watched our other video on competition thresholds and procurement requirements, you know that we use request for proposals for purchases over $25,000. The request for proposal or RFP process is not about getting the lowest price. It's about getting the best value for the city. The city requires vendors to be both responsive and responsible. A responsive proposer is one that has included all the material requirements with their proposal. Examples include proposal on time, proposer is insured, and all of our required forms are completed. The city determines whether a vendor is responsive to a request for proposal. Be mindful that common ways to be deemed non-responsive include a late submittal, adding unacceptable terms and conditions to your proposal, and altering the price form. A responsible vendor is one that has the capability to perform the work. In a request for proposal, this is usually submitted as part of the proposer's summary of qualifications and objectively scored. Criteria to be considered may include the ability, capacity, and skill of the proposer, whether the proposer can perform the contract promptly, the character, integrity, reputation, judgment, experience, and efficiency of the proposer, the quality of previous services, the ability of the firm to provide future maintenance, and the number and scope of deviations. Check out our other video on using VendorLink to see how to download the documents. Before you begin, read the entire document, including the checklist of submittal requirements, intro, instructions, standard terms and conditions, special conditions, scope of work, anticipated timeline, evaluation criteria, proposal form, and a few required forms. We also include a draft contract for your review. Pay special attention to the due date. It is almost always a Tuesday by 5 p.m., and late bids will not be accepted. For the point of contact, make sure you ask questions in a timely manner. The sooner the better. Don't participate in what is called ex parte communication, speaking to anyone other than procurement about the solicitation. More on that later. Be sure to understand our payment terms, the scope of work and minimum qualifications, and our insurance requirements listed in every document. Each proposal includes an anticipated timeline. Again, be sure to note the due date and time. The city does not accept late submittals. Let's look a little closer at each section. The front of the RFP has a checklist to guide you on what to submit. The intro and instructions are detailed information on when to submit, where, how many copies, if there is a pre-proposal meeting, and your procurement point of contact. Let's take a closer look at each section. Our standard terms and conditions are the same for every solicitation and include clauses like conflict of interest and public records, and include the term of the contract. Special terms and conditions vary, but always contain a provision about our contractor security ID badges. We sometimes require mandatory site visits. If a purchase is federally funded, those clauses are contained here. Have a clear understanding of the scope of work. In an RFP, the scope is often performance-based and outlines the background of the problem and what we want the final product or service to do, but not necessarily how to do it. In response, the vendor provides the best proposal approach to a solution. This is done by demonstrating their qualifications and their technical response. The format for response is provided in the evaluation criteria section. Read and understand this section carefully. There are usually 2 to 4 categories that your proposal will be scored against. We will look at some examples in a moment. Provide what is requested in the tabbed and sequential format it is requested in. This makes it easier for the evaluation team to review your proposal against the criteria. Include everything requested, but don't add fluff. Some proposals even have page limits. Be accurate and concise. Let's look at some examples of evaluation criteria. In this scenario, qualifications are worth up to 40 points out of 100 and technical is worth 30 points out of 100. For a summary of qualifications, you may be asked to provide a brief overview of your company, including the company location and number of employees, your expertise, biographies of key personnel, licenses, and references. For a technical response, you may be asked to provide the business plan, proposed approach, current and projected workload, timeline, and methodologies to meet the city's budget. Continuing our example, the remaining 30 points would be scored based on your price, which is presented on the proposal form. Remember, in an RFP, price is only one element that will be scored out of a possible 100 points. Provide your price as requested. Do not make changes to the form, which could result in your package being considered non-responsive and not reviewed by the evaluation team. The proposal form is at least 2 pages. On the first page, acknowledge any addenda the city issued, acknowledge your agreement to submit a proposal, and indemnify the city. Provide full company information. The remaining pages are for your price. Do not alter the city's form or use your own quote form. If you are unsure, ask your procurement point of contact listed in the document. Submitting a proposal, especially for the first time, can be challenging, but we are here to help. Just make sure you're only communicating with procurement. Ex parte communication means any oral or written communication relative to a proposal that occurs outside of an advertised public meeting. City staff, except procurement staff, cannot talk to vendors, and vendors cannot talk to or email city staff about the RFP once issued until it is awarded. This includes department directors, city council members, the mayor, or any city employee outside of the procurement department. This keeps a level playing field and ensures all vendors get the same information. When in doubt, call procurement. Here are some final reminders. Read the entire document. Attend a pre-proposal meeting if there is one. Look for a submittal checklist. Ask questions of the listed procurement contact in writing. Include the required number of copies. Promptly deliver and address your submittal. Seal it. Don't wait until the last minute, and ensure it arrives on time. Please check out our website for more information, palmbayflorida.org/procurement, or click on Business on the city's homepage and navigate to Doing Business with City. There you'll find even more information about the procurement department. There's also a list of our active bids, quotes, and proposals, and a direct link to register with VendorLink. On behalf of the procurement department, thank you for taking the time to learn more about the city's request for proposal process.